But to be honest, what I was told of my oncologist was I got the cancer for 2 reasons. 1, because I'm a woman, and 2, because I was incredibly unlucky. So the cancer I have is estrogen-led, which is the most common type of breast cancer. So the medical professionals are trying to eradicate my body of hormones. So that comes with a whole new level of side effects.
It's going to change your whole kind of dynamic as a human, isn't it? From how you feel as well. So
it is. It's life-changing. I'm not the same person as I was back then, but I don't necessarily say that as a bad thing. I mean, I've had bloods today because I take hormone suppressants as well as getting the injection in my stomach to put my ovaries to sleep. I take letrozole and I take that every day, and that suppresses the hormones as well. But that can also damage your bones. So it can make, obviously, the lack of estrogen in your body can give you osteoporosis. So hence why older women, when they've gone through the menopause, they can get brittle bones and things because of the lack of estrogen. But the lack of estrogen is basically medically putting us in the menopause. So at 42, I was put like head first into the menopause. There was no like gradual thing into it. It was just, right, we need to stop your ovaries from producing estrogen. And that's come with a lot of side effects, like I say. But tomorrow I'm having the infusion. I've got to go to the Washington Primary Care Centre. And it only takes about 20 minutes. But it goes through cannula and you just sit in that. But that strengthens your bones. So it's kind of combating a little bit what the medication's doing.
So you've got a lot of management to do, haven't you? What's your day-to-day like? I mean, obviously you've got to take pills, you've got to go to hospital. How often and how frequent is this? And how?
I go to the hospital every month. And that's kind of it, really. But that is one of the things that I found really difficult. Not going to hospital that often, which is quite strange. Because when I was diagnosed, I was at hospital quite a lot, probably every week. I formed like friendships with the nurses and things. And then just to go once a month when your treatment's finished, when your active treatment's finished, that was the bit that I really struggled with.
Why is that?
Because you feel as though, when I was diagnosed, I went through all my treatment. Obviously, I don't know if you want to touch on that later, but I rang the bell and I was elated. I thought, right, that's it, it's finished now. I can just put it to bed, I don't have to worry about it, and I'll just get on with my life, like where I left off. And I realised quite early on that wasn't going to be the case. For me, and a lot of people I've spoke to, just changed my whole life, my perception on everything. And before, my life was all about work and about money and about what nice things I had and all like materialistic things. And I don't want people to think that it's like, oh, because you've had this or you've had like some calling or something that you now changed. But seriously, it really changes your outlook on things. When I was diagnosed and they said, yeah, you've got cancer, and I was only 42, I thought, that's it, game over. I'm going to have to say goodbye to me family, to me kids, and to me dad. And I wasn't ready to do that. No way.
And I'll go back, but what's that like, hearing that news for the first time?
Oh, God. Honestly, I'm trying to put it into words. It's like everything's going on in the room and people are talking to you, but like it's like you're in slow motion. But then at the same time, it's like your life's this glass orb. And the moment they've said that, someone's just smashed it on the floor into a million pieces. That's what we all feel. And a lot of people feel the same way, but I don't think it's ever spoke about. And then you're going through the treatment and you're just on this roller coaster. because you just one appointment to the next, one appointment to the next, going through the motions really. And I kept a lot of how I felt to myself, because for one, I didn't want to worry my family and tell them really I was having a really shitty time. And I didn't particularly, sometimes I wanted to give in. I didn't really want to do the chemo because that was hard. And then you're just on this roller coaster, and then when it's time to get off, when you ring the bell, you've got to go back to this glass orb that's all over the floor and try and look for the pieces to piece back together. And there's some pieces of this glass orb that's now missing and they're never going to be back. But you can replace the missing bits. Doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. You can replace the missing bits with better things than that was there before. I hope that makes sense. That's just the way I see things.
It does, because it's like the old you isn't there anymore. It's changed.
Absolutely not.
So it's not the same thing as it was before, but it's a different thing now. So what has changed within you?
Honestly, just everything. I'm not materialistic anymore. Like, I used to work a lot. I worked 70 hours plus a week, and I'd be out with my kids at the pitches and they'd be ringing us saying, I need you to come in. And I'd drop everything. I'd say, oh, you're going to have to go home. I'm going to go into work. So blinded about the need of us and how much I meant to them and how the place couldn't probably run without us, which now I just think that was so stupid, because whether I'm here or not, the world's still going to keep on turning.
Was that a fear of losing job, or was that a fear of you losing a purpose as well as a job, and it was always
everything?
Money?
It wasn't the job. I was getting to the point where I was getting really tired. I was under a lot of stress in that at the time as well, from higher management. They were putting targets in place which were not achievable and stuff. So that side of it, I was kind of on the radar, where I thought, actually, do you know, if this long term, this is for me. Financial wise, huge. One of the biggest worries, definitely, because I've gone from working full time to having this wage that you get used to, getting the kids what they want and going on holidays and doing all that, and to all of a sudden, nothing. I was like, how on earth am I actually going to pay me rent? How am I going to put money on my son's dinner account? He's going to have to go to school and be like, oh, I've got no dinner money, and little things like that. And then it was my partner, and he was working, and I felt really guilty because he was basically supporting us all. So that was a real big challenge. The benefit system as well, when you go through cancer, isn't a given. There's one particular benefit, you've got to wait 3 months before they'll, if you get awarded it, that's fine, but you've got to wait 3 months before you get a payment. And I just think, well, why? Low capacity work-related activity, it's part of, it's an element on universal credit. And you've got to wait 3 months to get your first payment. And it was just well, I know I've got it, but can I have the money now, please? I need it now, not in 3 months. And the money worries on top of fighting for my life and trying to protect my kids from the physical changes in me as well. That was really tough.
I think number one thing everybody stresses about is money. I mean, I do, Kim. It's number one on my list of things that I just wish I didn't have to think about it. Do you know what I mean? Because it hinders what you can do, and also you've had to make a choice between getting better and money. Mm-hmm. That's a massive shift in someone's life. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I mean, people say oh, when you get diagnosed with cancer, you're so brave and you did all these things, and I couldn't do it, and you went through chemo and stuff, and but it was so hard, and you're so brave, but I wasn't brave. I just did what I had to do to stay alive. And a lot of people with cancer, that resonates with them, because for all people without cancer, they don't know what to say. So they say, oh, you know, it'll be all right and whatever, but till you've actually been there, you don't get it.